We're going to start off with 2 tablespoons of freshly ground peanut butter, organic preferably. I like the organic fresh peanut butter because it doesn't have a lot of additives. This is the strongest flavor. This is what gives this character to this particular dressing, and so you want it to be pure and untainted. Now we go with 3/4 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil, and you want to get the truly extra virgin olive oil. There are a lot that aren't really extra virgin olive oil, and we love those extra virgins. So so anyway, we try to get the best we can. I use a brand called Star. There's in St. Louis a really lovely brand called Creti, which is from Crete. They're beautifully pressed, fresh, and they taste just delicious. Now we put in a 1/4 cup of really good apple cider vinegar. I like Bragg's because it is organic. It still has the mother in it, and it is just really flavorful. So it gives a nice fresh tartness to this particular dressing. So we'll put this in here. I love garlic. Next, we're going to put some garlic in this. I have 1 clove of garlic that I've minced fairly finely. It's a medium-sized clove, but I really like that good garlic flavor in almost every dish that I make except desserts. So we use 1 finely minced clove of garlic in this recipe. Okay, now we are going to add 1 tablespoon of freshly squeezed lime juice. Now, lime juice adds a wonderful character to anything it's added to. You get that burst of citrus. It's a little tart, kind of a sweetness, but it brightens everything else around it. So I like freshly squeezed. It's different than what you can get out of a squeeze bottle or something like that. You really need to use fresh with everything you do. So put that in. Toasted sesame oil is so warm a flavor and a scent. It adds real texture to any dish, especially Asian dishes. And normally you add it at the very end of a stir fry because it provides so much of this olfactory sense. But it also provides this nice toasty flavor, which mixes beautifully with the peanut butter to really give it the Asian flair that you want. Okay, sweet chili sauce. If you've been to Vietnamese restaurants, some Chinese restaurants, you've probably had sweet chili sauce. It's a great dipping sauce for things like egg rolls and spring rolls. In this recipe, it adds a couple of things. It adds a little bit of sweetness, it adds some tartness, but it also adds just a little bit of heat. Not very much heat, just a little bit. So we have a tablespoon of sweet chili sauce, the Asian sweet chili sauce, and we'll add that now. Well, now we have 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and I like to get a light soy sauce from one of the local Asian stores. They have a high-end soy sauce, and this is salty, and this is where you get the salt for this particular recipe. It is what gives Asian food its Asian flavor. I mean, soy sauce is in virtually all the best dishes. So what we've done is just taken a regular soy sauce. You can find the lower salt versions. That's perfectly fine. You're still going to get the flavor. You won't get quite the saltiness. But this is really the only salt that is added into this particular recipe. Okay, now we add some honey. We want a little more sweetness to this. This is a local honey. It has wildflower flavors in it, so it gives this sort of floral background. Adds a little more sweetness to make sure that there's a balance of sweetness and the sourness of the vinegar and the other flavors. So we have here 2 tablespoons of really good local honey. Now, the pièce de la résistance, the Big O Ginger Liqueur. This is an amazing product. I know because I make it. But anyway, it's really good because it's so flavorful. You get the ginger in it, you get other spices in it, you get this nice little alcohol in the background that works beautifully with the other spices and the other ingredients. It's just a marvelous addition to anything that you cook. I find I put it in most things, whether it be desserts or savory dishes. In this particular dish, it works beautifully because of that burst of ginger and the sweetness it adds, because you get this nice warm sweetness in the background of the different sugars. So that's the next thing we're going to put in, a 1/4 cup of the Big O Ginger Liqueur. Okay, now we're going to add some fresh basil that's been minced. The dressing's done, it's ready, but I like to have a little more texture to it. I also like that fresh basil tang, the sort of pepperiness of basil. I have here a tablespoon, perhaps a little bit more. It's finely chopped, but it does give texture to this particular dish. While the Big O gives a nice ginger flavor to this dish, it doesn't have the same sort of spicy bite that fresh ginger has, and there really is a difference between the two. And so I like to add a little bit of freshly chopped ginger, a tablespoon, nicely minced, just at the end, along with the basil. To stir it up, it gives the dressing some texture, but then it gives these really interesting flashes of spice and flavor as you're eating the dish, and I think it's a wonderful addition.